kicking off the broadcast from Berlin, Germany, here at IFA, of course. None other than the Executive Vice President of Messe Berlin Group and the Executive Director of IFA. He keeps getting promoted in new titles, it seems, every day. Jens Heithecker. Jens, welcome back into tomorrow. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, mate.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. And another gentleman who keeps getting promoted. He is now the IFA Director, Dirk Koslowski. Hello, Dirk.
Oh, thanks, Dave, for mentioning this.
That's not a bad thing. No,
good to be here.
That's a good thing. And we're delighted not only to be here, but of course to have you guys, as always, kick off the broadcast and the absolute show that is truly rich in tech history. And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I mean, with Albert Einstein being one of your first keynote speakers, and it's safe to say that neither of you or myself were around then.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. But that...
I'm not quite sure.
You're not. Yeah, sometimes you feel like it, right? But that is certainly proof of tech history of IFA. And let me see if I can remember back in the day when it used to be called what IFA, the International Farfignugen, the International Funkausstellung, which I learned on our first visit 18 years ago, back when you were doing the show every other year, that Funk is radio in German, correct? And Ausstellung is like exhibition.
Right.
Wow, see, look at that. And you thought I was a dummy. No.
You surprise us every single day.
Every time there's an opportunity. But I think that's what's cool because, you talk about other trade shows, for example, and I'll say, CES in Vegas, they say it doesn't stand for anything. Well, of course, it's the Consumer Electronics Show. Everybody knows that. Oh, but the world knows it's just as that. Oh, okay, well, good for you. But IFA, or IFA, and I'm glad you accept it either way because I use it, both ways oftentimes, has become just, it's not a German show. It's an international show in every which way possible.
Exactly. It's in every single aspect, as Jens already mentioned, the trade visitors which are coming to IFA from more than 120 countries. Wow. And plus the media people. Don't forget the media people because they are creating at the end the buzz which all the new products and technologies will be on display here. And media people in total 6,000 are coming to this show. 50% means 3,000 or 3,000 are just coming from outside Germany. So
we're not the only ones?
I have to apologize.
We only met you so far.
Yes, exactly. No, but that shows, again, the importance of this particular show. Absolutely. When you have that many international journalists that are saying, of course we have to be at IFA, because that's where all these new products are being introduced and so many new innovations, thus co-innovation. Let's talk about that for a minute. That's one of our favorite hashtags the past year or so.
Yeah, we are convinced that there is no lonely innovator, lonely startup, lonely company innovating on their own only. I think whenever you look into a smartphone, wherever, there are components, there are processors, software from around the world, the displays from different countries, then the processor, then the chipset, whatever. Means every truly innovation in this new digital world is a global innovation, assembled from global ideas, global parts at the end. And then we learned it's not only that here in IFA you can see the products ready for the next season. That's what IFA is made originally for. That the retailers can come to here, can prepare their seasonal business, and for the consumers that they know what they find soon in the shops. That's one reason.
And this show, mind you, sorry to interrupt, but that's what the importance we talk about regularly, is the only show that counts before the holidays. When people are saying, I want the latest, greatest for my gifts, whether it's yourself, giving it to yourself or others, the fact is, by the time it's January, it's too late for the holidays, so now you're planning maybe for next year.
And on the other side, we learned we have to bring together all the inventors, all the smart people from the industry in a new way. And that's the reason we developed, first of all, the conception of co-innovation. Means to bring together the smartest guys, the smartest companies, the most innovative startups in one hall, in a special design to promote the communication between them on the one side. And on the other side, we see that co-innovation is leading to a new concept, IFA Next, and means that's not for this season. What we try to help to develop are the innovations for the season after this next season.
Yeah, true. You're really looking into tomorrow. It should be IFA into tomorrow, but then there's probably some copyright issue.
Somehow like this, yeah.
It's too expensive, you can't pay for.
Yeah, exactly. We don't come cheap.
And honestly, there's one more point we should bear in mind. We do not talk about consumer electronics alone here.
Oh,
no,
that's true.
It's a combination since quite a while in between home appliances, the automotive industry, and healthcare purposes.
Yes.
So it's really a broad range of industries which are coming together here with each other and creating this kind of co-innovation as
and great point, because it's taken years, but other shows are now copying those kinds of things. But you guys were the innovators of that, because it is
at this time people were laughing about us. How can an IT consumer electronic mobile show, how can they invent, how can they integrate in this size home appliances, this white goods? And suddenly it was the best thing we could do, because these home appliances, medium, smaller, large, these are part of our connected life now, and this is one category for the consumers, because they go to the same shop, to the same retailer to buy this, and at the end, technical wise now, voice control is not only in loudspeakers, it's not only to find in your car, you can find it on TVs and of course in washing machines.
Another great example of co-innovation, especially because a lot of the companies are making consumer electronics and appliances as well. And the technology now, even in the home appliances, as you bring up, is becoming more and more. We used to joke as well about, just what I need is my toaster connected. Why do you need that? Well, because now it can send you a text that your toast is ready in the morning or something. I mean, it might be at a bit of an extreme, but there are other great examples of IoT and how they're building the Internet of Things into everything.
Yeah, but honestly, the difference here at the IFA show floors is we show on display the finalized products which are ready to the market. So we are not interested just to talk about technology. Technology is behind, but first and foremost, we are coming from the consumer perspective.
We all want the product.
What can I buy tomorrow, and is it worth to spend my money, which I have to invest for my loved one for the Christmas season or the end of the year season? That's exactly the point.
And the real revolution in this innovation is then when the consumer doesn't realize anymore that he's using this new technology like AI, like IoT, like internet. We don't talk about internet anymore. We don't talk about IoT anymore, because it's done.
A given.
It's given. It's ubiquitous whatever you use.
Right.
Now we do the next step with AI, artificial intelligence.
And
I think that's the next revolution at the moment we will see in the devices. I really guess the next 2-3 years you will not recognize any device from this year, because in everything will be integrated AI, and if it's connected as a mobile device, 5G.
That's an interesting thought, that we won't recognize our existing devices in 2 or 3 years. Because you think about the evolution of tech in general over the years. I mean, the big thing when we first went on the air was this new thing called DVD. And then of course, look what's happened in these last 24 years of just what we cover. Great example, though, about how we're going to use things in so many different ways that it's hard to imagine.
And how fast it goes. Imagine, when was the first smartphone? When was it produced? 6-7 years ago only.
The real
smartphone.
The real smartphone. A good point.
Not the mobile. The mobile was earlier.
Of course.
But the smartphone.
Right.
It's not that old.
No.
And we can't live without a smartphone anymore. With all
they're smarter than us now, which is scary.
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes.
Okay, that's AI.
Yes, exactly. That's where we need artificial and any intelligence in some cases. But more things too, real quick, before we're out of time, and then you guys make way for many guests, your exhibitors that are here. We have several of your keynote speakers coming up. Lots of folks, some really exciting things going on again this year here at IFA in Berlin. But there's more than just IFA and that sort of thing. We talked briefly about Shift Automotive. You have the IFA Plus Summit. What is that, real quick?
Basically, it's our future convention, where we're bringing together the brilliant minds of the industry, which are just coming to IFA in a environment where they're not going to display just products, but if they are leaders in technology, if they want to share their ambitions about future societies, like what's in for me in terms of elderly people or of healthcare purposes, etc. pp. So it's a different switch of how to make consumer lives better for the near future.
Some very interesting things always taking place every year, but I don't know how you guys outdo yourselves. I mean, it's got to be a task in and of itself every year for what are we going to do next year that's innovative and different and co-innovative.
But for example, as you probably will learn this year, Japan will be for the first time the partner country for innovation here at IFA, and that's surely something which we could work on it for the next couple of years. It's a blueprint for us to give specific countries or even region some specific exposure in terms of technology and innovation.
And especially these small companies.
It's not only about exposure. It's about stories they are untold. It's so often that we've seen in Japan and other countries so many innovative companies, innovative products. They are untold, not seen outside their country. And this is what we try to bring it on stage for the world's public.
And not only do you do a good job with that, but it allows us journalist types to find these companies, and especially these young startups, these entrepreneurs that have a great idea, and then it's about networking. And we look more for those smaller companies that, as you say, have to get the word out, and it's not easy for them. You know, fine, we know the big companies here that are always making big announcements, and that's wonderful, and they will continue to do that. But it's these smaller companies with things that no one's ever heard of yet, or some ideas that, wow, that's really good. And then, of course, the buyers that come here are saying, I want to be the first retailer to have that product. And then everybody, it's a win-win-win, especially for the consumers. Everybody's happy. Yeah, love it. Well, again, thank you for kicking off the broadcast. We have so many of your exhibitors we got to get to, so we want to do just that. And we appreciate you joining us. IFA-Berlin.com. You hear us talk about it every single week on Into Tomorrow, and now you'll know why when you visit their site. And, of course, our site at intotomorrow.com. For not only the radio segments, if you should miss them on your local radio station, sign up for the free podcast, but be sure to check out all the videos of all of the interviews here at IFA so you can see these very cool, innovative products. I'm Dave Graveline, bringing you further Into Tomorrow, back with lots more from Berlin, Germany, and IFA right here on the Advanced Media Network.